I barely said yes to the marriage proposal and he ghosted me. And I don't understand why. My boyfriend proposed to me. I said yes, but 3 days later he cut me off. I don't understand what I did wrong for him to do something like this to me. Why are men so afraid of commitment? I don't know how to start this. My fiancé abandoned me, and I don't understand his reasons. A few days ago he asked me to marry him. I accepted, and now he has disappeared. Believe me, I was worried. It wasn't just a simple case of him not answering my messages. He completely vanished. He didn't say anything to me. There was no fight, not even a sign that something was wrong. I thought something bad had happened to him, so I went to talk to his parents. But when I got to their house, they didn't even open the door for me. The strangest part is that I saw lights on, I heard footsteps inside, and still no one answered. I knocked several times, called on the phone, sent messages, nothing. At first, I thought they were angry for some reason, but as the days went by, I understood that they were avoiding me. His friends don't know where he is either. Some say he went on a trip, others that he took a leave of absence from work, but no one knows for sure. It's as if the earth had swallowed him whole. Honestly, I don't understand how we got to this point. I don't think I did anything wrong for him to act this way. Sometimes I think maybe he panicked, that he got scared of commitment and now he's realized what he's done. But Romeo didn't seem like that type of man. He was always mature, calm, responsible. He never ran from problems, much less from a person. I can't understand what led him to disappear without any explanation, without leaving a note, without even a text message. I tried to go to his apartment. I have an emergency key. But when I got there, I realized he had changed the lock. That's when I felt something break inside me. If he really needed space, why do that? Why go to so much trouble to push me away, to literally close the door on me? There's no way to justify it unless something serious happened or someone told him some lie about me. I tried to look for him on social media, but he disappeared from all of them. Instagram, Facebook, everything closed. Even his number now comes up as unavailable. At first, I thought it was a hack or a cruel joke, but when I saw that even his parents were avoiding me, I knew it was intentional. And the worst part is I don't have a single clue as to why. I want you to understand something. Romeo and I have been in a relationship for 8 years. 8. We literally grew up together. We were best friends before we were a couple. We went through everything: illnesses, moves, financial crises, family losses, and yet we always found our way back to each other. There couldn't have been a better relationship than ours, which is why this hurts so much. I can't accept that one day he proposed to me with a sincere smile and 3 days later, he disappeared. I've read stories of people who have regrets after getting engaged, who feel things are moving too fast. But that wasn't our case. He was the one who insisted on the proposal, who organized everything, who talked about the guests and the house we were going to buy together. There were no signs of doubt, of fear, of anything, only love. I've gone days without sleep. I don't know whether to be worried or angry. I'm torn between thinking something terrible happened to him, or that he's simply avoiding me on purpose. But if that's the case, why? We didn't have any fights. There was no infidelity, no lies, nothing that I know of. We were happy. And then suddenly he disappears. That's why I'm turning to this space, because I don't know who else to ask. I've read so many stories here that I thought maybe someone could help me understand what's happening. Did he regret it? Did something happen to him? I have no answers. I need to know what you would do. Should I keep looking for him or accept that he abandoned me for no reason? I can't go on living without understanding why someone who loved me so much decided to erase me from his life, as if I had never existed. Update 1. Thank you so much to everyone who left me comments. I don't plan on giving up. I'm going to fight for our love. I know it won't be easy because I'm sure someone has put ideas in his head. After almost a month of not knowing anything about him, I finally saw him. You can't imagine what I felt. My heart started racing in a way I can't describe. I ran towards him without thinking. I just wanted to hug him, to ask him why he had pulled away, to know if he was okay. But when I got close, he dodged me. He literally moved away as if he didn't even want me to touch him. You have no idea the pain I felt. After so many days searching for him, so many nights crying, I finally had him in front of me, and he looked at me with a coldness I had never seen in him before. And the only thing that came out of his mouth was, "Give me my ring back." Just like that, no explanation, no apology, nothing. I was paralyzed. I asked him to explain what was happening, to at least tell me what I did wrong. And all he said was, "Don't play dumb," because it seems the only stupid one in this relationship was me. I didn't understand anything. I tried to stay calm. I asked him if someone had told him something because someone had clearly manipulated him. I told him not to believe everything he heard, that there were people who wanted to separate us. He didn't answer me. He just looked at me for a second, shook his head, turned around and left. You don't know how humiliating that moment was. I felt like everything was crashing down on me. For weeks I dreamed of seeing him again, of hugging him and telling him how much I loved him. And when it finally happens, he treats me like a stranger. I don't understand what they told him or why he suddenly hates me. He's not like that. It can't be that he's changed so much in such a short time. I'm convinced that someone filled his head with lies. Maybe a resentful so-called friend or someone who wants to see him alone. I don't know, but I will find out. I'm not going to let this destroy what we built over 8 years. He is my best friend, my ideal partner, the person I grew up with. It's not fair for it all to end like this, from one moment to the next, without any real reasons. And yes, I know many of you will tell me to let him go, that if he disappeared it's because he doesn't love me, but no, I don't accept that. I don't care what he's heard, I don't care if he's angry or if he needs time. I'm going to show him that everything we have is worth it. I'm going to make him see that nothing they told him is true. He can think whatever he wants now, but I know who I am. I'm not the person they're painting me to be. And if I have to fight against the world for him to see it, I will. It may sound crazy, but I'm not ashamed to say it. I love him, and I'm not going to give up just because someone decided to destroy our story with lies. I'm going to fight for this love for us. Update 2: the fiancé's post. There's a lot to tell, but I'm still angry. These 30 days away weren't enough to calm me down, but at least they helped me see things clearly. To all those who listen to and believe Tamara's version, I want to tell you something. She hid the truth. She didn't even mention it, but she was unfaithful to me. Yes, she cheated on me with one of her friends, a guy I myself treated well, whom I invited to my house more than once, believing he was trustworthy. That man passed away a few weeks before I proposed to her. I comforted her for her loss. I held her while she cried, I took care of her. I never imagined she was actually crying for her lover. As she said herself, we were together for 8 years. 8 years that now feel like a waste of time, and the more I think about it, the angrier I get. But there's something else, something that neither she nor many others know. Her lover died under suspicious circumstances. Officially, it was ruled as an overdose, a mix of alcohol and medication, and classified as a suicide. But the guy's best friend doesn't believe it. He's convinced Tamara had something to do with it. I don't know if it goes that far. I don't want to think she would be capable of that. Anyway, the police closed the investigation and the case was archived. For the system, it was a suicide. For me, it remains an open question. How did I find out about the infidelity? By accident. The lover's best friend showed another friend a conversation between Tamara and the deceased. It was an argument. In the messages, he was telling her he wanted something serious, that he was willing to fight for her, that he couldn't stand seeing her with me. She replied that she didn't want anything, that she had already made a decision, but he insisted he wouldn't give up, that he would fight for her, that when I found out, I would leave her, and that would be his chance. That was the last thing known from that conversation. Then there's a missed call on WhatsApp and nothing more. Total silence. Shortly after, the guy dies. The friend who saw those messages showed them to another, and that other friend was the one who finally told me. It was 3 days after I had proposed to Tamara. Imagine what it feels like to read those words, to see the proof and realize that the person you were about to promise your life to had cheated on you with someone who is no longer alive to confirm it. Many have told me I should have confronted her. Maybe, but at that moment, I couldn't even look at her without feeling repulsion. I was too upset, too hurt. I felt she didn't deserve closure, and I still think so. If it weren't for my vacation ending, I wouldn't have even returned to the country. My parents know everything. I told them what happened and asked them not to say anything to her, even though they were furious. They also trusted her. They considered her part of the family. It was a hard blow for everyone. When I finally came back, I didn't want to make a scene. She found me, and the first thing I did was ask for the ring back. I had spent a good amount of money on it, and I wasn't about to leave it as a memento of a betrayal. I planned to sell it and buy myself something with the money, something useful. But of course, Tamara reacted as if she had done nothing. Cynical. She keeps saying she did nothing wrong, that it's all a misunderstanding and that she wants to fight in the name of love. When I heard her say that, my blood was boiling, and still I tried to keep my cool, but I couldn't take it anymore. She kept following me, asking to talk, begging for explanations, so I ended up telling her what I knew. I told her, looking her in the eyes, that I knew about her affair with her friend. She held my gaze as if she was sure she could convince me. She swore she would never do that to me, that I was the love of her life and that someone had filled my head with lies. She even said it was probably her friend who told me because she had always been envious of her. I replied that no, it wasn't her friend, and I showed her the image of the conversation. That's when her face changed. First she went silent. Then she told me it was a fabrication, that people can make up anything. I told her I didn't want to hear anymore, to stay away, to stop looking for me, and I left. But as always, she did the opposite. She started begging me. She asked me not to throw our love in the trash, that it had been just a mistake, that the guy was her friend and she got confused. She said she cared for him, yes, but not in that way, that she saw him as a brother. That's when I understood that anything she said from now on would be a lie. It was obvious. Luckily, before I went on vacation, my boss had mentioned that the company was offering a temporary 6-month exchange at another branch in another country. It was optional and he asked if I was interested. I obviously accepted. And I left without telling her anything. So yes, technically I ghosted her. I blocked her from everywhere, but sometimes I would unblock her to see the messages she sent. She wouldn't know, but I would let the double check marks for delivered appear. I knew it would drive her crazy. She was aware that I was seeing them, but she never got a response. It was my way of making her feel a little of what I felt when I discovered everything. Coldness, indifference. One day she even went to my parents' house to find me. She asked them to talk to me, that she needed them on her side. My parents listened to her, but they just gave her a lecture. They talked to her about loyalty, about trust, about how actions have consequences. They told her they wouldn't raise a hand to her because it wasn't their duty to raise her, but that they were ashamed of and disappointed in her. She didn't come back after that. A few months have passed and from what I hear, she's still looking for me. I still have a couple of months before I return, and honestly I prefer to stay away. I don't want to see her, I don't want to hear her. I don't want to give her the closure she's so desperately seeking. Because sometimes the real punishment isn't screaming at someone about what they did, but letting them live with the doubt, with the echo of their own guilt. She says she's going to fight for our love, that she won't give up, but I have nothing left to give her, and deep down I think she knows it. I hope she understands and stops groveling. The only thing she's doing is making me feel more disgusted by her. Update 3. Thanks for the messages and for all the comments you left on the previous post. What can I say? A lot has happened since then, and yes, I have news. It's been 5 months since I returned to the country, and I knew that at some point, it would be inevitable to run into Tamara. And so it was. For a while, I managed to avoid her by steering clear of places where I knew she might show up. But eventually, life has a way of bringing people together, even when you don't want it to. I'm not going to lie. When I saw her, the feeling was strange. There was no hatred or love, just a mix of indifference and exhaustion. But that's not the most important thing. What's truly unexpected is that I'm dating someone. And yes, you're not going to believe this. I'm dating Tamara's friend. I know what you're thinking. Yes, that same friend, the one who was supposedly in love with me for ages. For years, I saw her as just another friend. Someone kind, always calm, polite, very different from Tamara. But now that I know her better, I realize I was blind. I never saw that, in her quiet way, she was a much better person. And all of this made me remember something. Before that friend, Lucy, distanced herself because of Tamara's sick suspicions, she told me something that I can't get out of my head now. It was a warning, although at the time I didn't take it seriously. I remember her words. Be careful. Tamara can be cruel to the people she loves. It wasn't just an offhand remark. It was said with an expression that made me uncomfortable, as if she was speaking from experience or fear. But I ignored her. I took it as a comment from someone who was jealous or envious. I assumed she said it because Tamara and I had a long-term relationship and she was just trying to get my attention. Now I know I should have listened to her. It might have saved me from a lot. Since I came back, Lucy and I have kept our relationship private. Not because of any shame, but because we wanted time for ourselves. We wanted to be sure that what we had was real, without shadows from the past or comments from third parties. But of course, nothing stays hidden forever. A friend saw us together at a cafe. He's not a bad person. We asked him not to say anything. But you know how gossip works. One person tells just one other person, and that person tells another. And so, in less than a week, everyone knew. We knew it was going to happen sooner or later, but we wanted a little more time before it did. With the rumor out, Tamara found out too. And as expected, she didn't like it one bit. At first, she tried to pretend she didn't care, but soon after I found out she went to find Lucy and not exactly to talk. Lucy was with her group of friends at a coffee shop when Tamara showed up. According to what they told me, she went straight for her without a greeting and pulled her hair in front of everyone. The scene was a disaster. The irony is that Lucy has always been the calmest one of all. She never got into conflicts. She was the one who calmed others down, who avoided fights, who preferred to walk away rather than argue. And precisely because of that, everyone who was there came to her defense, because they knew that if Lucy was quiet, it was out of respect, not cowardice. Tamara ended up receiving a good number of shoves and shouts. No one hit her directly at first, but when she started insulting people and throwing things, the situation got out of control. Lucy's friends ended up giving her a beating that, honestly, she brought on herself. By that point, everyone knew she had been the unfaithful one, so no one intervened. Lucy, as always, stayed on the sidelines. She didn't even raise her voice, just stepped aside with tears of anger and shame while her friends defended her. After that, we thought it would end there, but Tamara doesn't know how to lose. According to what I was told, days later she started saying she knew a place where they held underground fights and that if Lucy had so much courage, they could settle things there like real women. It was ridiculous. She proposed that each of them choose a representative, a friend on Lucy's side and another on hers. The winner would get to keep me, as if I were a trophy. A level of ridiculousness that borders on the pathological. Lucy, of course, refused. But Tamara went further. She told her that if she didn't accept, she had to promise she would disappear from the group, that she would swear in my name never to show up again. That's when Lucy got truly angry. And well, Lucy found her own way to solve the matter. She did her own research and hired a professional fighter, not a friend, not an amateur, a real fighter. On the day of the fight, Tamara went in confidently, shouting, mocking, thinking she was going to humiliate everyone. But it took just 2 minutes for her representative to be on the floor. And when Tamara tried to intervene, the fighter Lucy had hired literally left her on the ground. They say it was quite a spectacle. Tamara ended up hospitalized. Bruises, minor fractures, nothing serious, but enough to make her lose her desire to keep seeking attention. And interestingly, she kept her promise. She never showed up again. Since then, things with Lucy have been calm. I won't say perfect because I still carry a certain amount of distrust. After everything that happened, you don't trust the same way again. Sometimes I think that's the worst thing. Infidelity leaves you with not the anger, not the pain, but the distrust. That little inner voice that tells you, what if it happens again? Lucy is different, and she shows it to me every day. She's nothing like Tamara in character, but I still can't help but doubt sometimes. I guess when someone betrays you the way Tamara did, it changes the way you see everything. You start to measure love carefully, as if it's something fragile, something that can break with the slightest carelessness. I'm really trying to get over it because if I decided to move on, it was to leave that stage behind, not to relive it in my head. And with Lucy, I try every day. She knows what I went through and never demands anything from me. She just gives me space, patience, and silence. So yes, Tamara is gone, and I hope she doesn't come back because even though there are still things that make me uncomfortable, I've learned that people who are capable of lying and destroying for their ego don't deserve more than a passing memory.